Hi team. Ring muscle up stuff. I thought it'd just give us, some of us, a bit of an opportunity to work on some kibbing stuff. I know we don't get a lot of time in classes to work through that, and usually the emphasis comes around the strict and developing that strict progression first. But we'll just go through some skill work and some drills that I've been working through with some individuals over the last 3 to 6 months that have been really effective. So I thought I'd just sort of take it into a group setting and see how we go. We'll work through a little 3-setter just to warm up down on the floor here. Then we'll start working through some kip swings. We'll look at 2 little snap variations with our hips and also with our arms, and how we're going to sort of generate and maintain tension on the rings and allow us to get over top into the dip receive. So we'll start off with our Russian push-ups. We've got Russian push-ups, we've got crab extensions, we've also got some snap to supports. So I'll sort of demo these as we flow through. So the Russian push-ups, some of you guys have done these in gymnastics, but we're looking for that toes away position. We're going to start at the top here, lower down, chest an inch off. We roll back onto the forearms, roll forward, we press out, and we finish in that thoracic press. Okay, so it's just sort of semi-simulating that turnover portion of the ring muscle up, so it just allows us to get really dynamic and maintain tension throughout. So we're wanting to keep that engaged glutes, engaged core, while we're working through and being explosive. Toes away, Nikki, good. Okay, retract, lower, roll back, roll forward, press out, retract, lower, roll back, roll forward, press out. Hold there, Craig, when you're rolling back and rolling forward, I want you to work harder through the glutes, okay? Squeeze the bum. We're piking a little bit. So crab extensions. This is gonna sort of open up through the hip flexors a little bit, but also the shoulder and chest. So it's gonna be a little bit of a challenging position for some of us. We're gonna go hands in line with our hips. So find that position just outside shoulders, and we're gonna go fingers facing away. Come into a bridge position, and we're just going to drive up. Get your hips as high as you can. You'll probably feel that pull through the front of the shoulder and into the chest, and come back down. Cool. Just in your own time, let's work through 9 more of those. Just keep them smooth like that kind of pace. Okay, just keep that chin tucked, rib cage down as we raise. We don't want to flare at the top. In an arch position, so we're going to bridge up, and then from here, taking our hands, we've got our rib cage locked down. We're going to snap. I'll just do this slow. So rib cage moves down, I snap and finish, hands in front of my hips, up in a support. Okay, so the way that it's going to look fast as I come through and up into a support. Okay, a little bit of coordination on this one. Okay, it's just about being explosive, finishing, hands in front of hips, and pressing out. Think about like an L sit, how we press out. Okay, so big thing to think about on this is when we go for our snap down into our support, try not to lift your heels off the floor. Arch position, bridge, and go. Hold.
So the feet were not supposed to come.
Yeah, try to keep the feet down. All right, we're gonna be doing most of the ring work today on the short straps. Okay, so inside the rig rather than the long straps. There's a little bit of variation on our positioning and cueing for the straps length. So we'll stay on the shorter straps. So jump into some pairs or small groups. What we're looking for is just starting off with a kip swing. We're not going to transition or rotate any of our sort of wrist position. Talked about it a little bit in the past, but just to keep tension on the rings, we want to just keep everything neutral. So we want to be thinking about pressing down, just holding the rig if we were to do a bar muscle up or a toaster bar. Okay, so we'll jump up. Looking to catch the rings if you've got grips on for these. We can try to kind of bind over into a partial grip or an over grip like we would see for like a bar muscle up. We want to try and latch over a little bit. It's just going to help with a transition from the pull to the push and the ring muscle up. So I like to think about aiming for a grip on the inside quarter of the rings. Rather than being straight down here, I'll try and grab on that inside quarter. And that way I can get sort of the ball of my palm resting on the bottom of the ring. And then we're just gonna go through some kip swings, and we'll just keep them low intensity to start. Let's go for about 10 reps, okay? And we're trying to keep the body really rigid and maintain an open hip. So I'm thinking about that posterior tuck. So if I squeeze my glutes and try to tuck my tailbone under, okay? And then even just leverage my heel back against that glute tension. So think about pulling it back and creating a nice straight line from your shoulder down to your toe. So I'll jump up, find that open hip. So pretty rigid shape, right? We're doing that pressing work in our hollow through our shoulders, so those lats are really working hard, and we're thinking about a little pull through into our arch, okay? And a big thing with these kip swings is we're keeping everything symmetrical. You know, my hollow should be as deep as my arch, okay? So, and keeping that vice versa as we progress in height. Really common for us to have a deep arch swing and have a dusty hollow, and we're not getting that power transition back to the other. So it means that we're having to do more work through our arms, through our biceps or whatnot, whatever people generally compensate with. So trying to make it look symmetrical as possible, keep it as engaged as possible. So those heels are staying together, the toes are pointed, we're keeping that knee locked out. Okay, let's jump up, work through like 3 sets of 10 kipping swings. Yeah, open hips, so screw your hips under, and now pull your heels back against your glutes. Hold. Don't go into an arch there, right there. Okay, that's your open hip position, okay? So keep that, keep the glutes squeezed, and we're just gonna press down and pull through. Good, press, pull. Good, keep tension. More work through the shoulder, press, pull. Think about, yeah, closing down. Cell phone to each ear, hugging it to your shoulders. Good, nice. Now make it smoother. Smooth, pull, push. Good, great. Nice work. Feel different, eh?
Yeah.
And go. 1, 2, 5. Good, more. And press down, pull through, press down. Just keep it relaxed. But what I want to see is rather than our hips piking, so as we're rising up in that hollow, you're breaking through the hip a little. I want you to keep that tension that we found at the start. I want you to do more work here. So imagine we're cell phone on each ear, hugging your shoulder to your ear. We keep it tight as we press. We compress through the core. Okay? Nice. Okay, ribcage down a little bit more. Especially when you're pressing. Press and compress and compress. Good. Nice. Good stuff. Relax. Good job. Okay. Sweet, guys. We'll just up the intensity of those swings a little bit. So this is usually now where we start to see a few movement faults, like that arch position especially. The feet start coming apart and knees start bending and going all sorts of ways. So let's really focus on that, keeping those heels glued together. That's a big thing, and it'll help. Like if we do that now, clamp it, we can feel our butts switch on straight away. So if we're working hard on clamping those heels together when we're up on the rings, we already have to think about one less thing. Okay, the glutes are already working hard. All right, if we push away and we spread those rings, you're not gonna get as much feedback on these as you will on those, but it'll start sending our body weight this way and our power that way, which there's always an opposite, right? So then it'll go back, and then we've got to go back over, right? So there's power going boom, boom, and then up and over. So we're kind of like, especially when we're fatigued, we're kind of like just praying that we're going to get that turnover, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just try to keep these as vertical underneath that support beam as possible. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of variation, you know, it's kind of like a foot either way, but if we can keep it tight in that like foot rather than being way out here or spreading them out, it's going to be so much better in terms of our power transfer. Okay?
Thanks.
So when we're doing a ring muscle up, we extend our hips, right, which is going to travel us upwards, but usually what we find is that there's a little bit of a lag from hip to shoulder in terms of the plane of the ring. So we're wanting to start that process of turning over with our torso above the plane of the rings. Okay, and usually if we've heard that sort of hips to ring drill in the past, if we pop our hips to the rings, it means our hips are high, our feet are low, and usually our shoulders are low as well. So we have to do this big sit-up motion to try to pull ourselves over into our dip receive. Okay, ideally what we want to do is hips go up, shoulders also rise, and we receive in a partial press, or in an uprise, we'll call it. So as we receive, we can continue that pressing motion. So it's a really vertical movement as opposed to going sort of up, backwards, and then over, if that makes sense. Okay, so with this pullback, what we want to think about, and we'll just start, I'll show you guys the progression on this, but this is what it'll look like. If I'm here thinking about it, just about to extend my hips, and then I pull back on the rings like that. So it's almost like a face pull in a way, but I'm going to extend first, so pop, and then pull. And you can see how like weightless I become there. Okay, so if we do that on the rings here, on the actual high rings, it's going to help assist and pull my torso above the plane of the rings. And it also keeps tension on the rings as well. So there's not that dead spot where we've gone hips up and then it's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to pull myself over. Okay, it means that we've kept constant tension on the rings to go from extension to pull and then into our dip receive. So we have full control over those rings. So progression on this, we're just going to come back into a little bit of a lean, and we'll just start with some hip pops. So we'll go up, keep your arms straight. We're not going to do any pulling work, but you'll see even with that hip pop, I'm going to find that loose strap, which is great. It means that we're traveling up, right? So then once we've done, let's do two sets of 10 of those hip pops, we'll just go straight to a pull. And again, you can see that those straps are moving into slack. And now if I bring them together, hips go first, I can travel right forward. Okay, so together, extremely powerful, and it's going to take me in the direction I want to go. So let's do 2 sets of 10 hip pop, 2 sets of 10 pullbacks, and then we'll do 2 sets of 10 hip 2 pullback.
The hip hop?
Yeah, just the hip hop. Good, that was it. Nice, Chloe. Pull up. Yeah, good, just like that. When you pull though, keep this tight. Pop, good. So more like here. So it'll be here. Right? As opposed to that or that. That's pop, up. Okay. Snap back drill. So we'll call it that. Make it nice and easy. Yeah, right? Claire knows the one. So we've been doing this to drill the hip extension in our bar muscle up progression. So what this does is it just allows us to get out of tension through our arms or through our lats. So we're not pulling into an arch position, but it just gets us from the sort of neutral hollow and then snap those feet back, and we drive our hips forward with that snap back. I'm going to come forward a little bit with my feet, and then I'm just going to think about snapping back, and it drives my hips forward. Yeah, I know, it looks weird. It doesn't feel right either. Okay, so trust me on this though. This drill, in terms of the hip extension and the bar and the ring muscle up, it's usually what people struggle with the most. We can swing all day and do our kip swings, but if we haven't got a hip extension, it's going to be a bloody real uphill battle to try to string together multiple reps. Okay, so we can drill this now. We can sort of get it ingrained a little bit, and then we can try to tie it into our kip swing timing as well. So just jump up on the rings, work through like 3 reps each. Let's do like 3 sets. I want you to just go feet forward a little bit more, and go. Yeah, nice. And go. Nice. One more. And go. Perfect. That was good. And go. So try to get your hips really far forward. So it's not just like, I don't want like half-hearted, like, I want you to be like, boom, pull your feet back as far as you can. A little bit less tension. No tension through your shoulders. Nah. And feet up. Yeah, right. That was it there. And go. Good, and go. Nice.
Like, what's the idea of this? Like, why do I want to be so relaxed?
Because otherwise we get caught up just pulling into an arch. We don't want to pull into an arch. We want to extend the hips. So if we're struggling to be really dynamic here, we can let our feet come apart behind us.
What they did.
Yeah, and it'll allow us into a slightly more extended position. Okay, so rather than worrying about keeping the feet together when you go back into that snap back, we're just going to let them come apart. All right, but keep the legs straight. So the legs act as a lever to open the hip. We're going to go 3 kip swings. On the third hollow, we're going to extend those hips and try to get ourselves into a big C shape. So we're going to be really overarched on this. Again, not good form, but just for the drill purpose. And we're going to try and get our chest all the way up to the ring. So there's going to be a big pulling motion as well. All right, so it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3. Exactly. Okay, so we can see if we get that timing right, that straddle extension is super powerful, right? My hips shot right up through the ring level, and I was able to sort of pull my chest through as well and get that chest to ring motion. And you can see that finished position was a big C shape through my back. Okay, it's just about tying that in and getting that timing right. So it's on our third hollow. 2 and straddle snap. Okay, a little bit. I want you to be a little bit more open. So I want to think about throwing your heels down, getting your hips up. So being really explosive. Try to get your hips as high as you can through the ceiling. 2 and snap. Yeah, right. Good. Okay, so now just finish with that motion. So just a big pull and bring your elbows or think about bringing the ribs down past your rib cage as you pull. So that was way better. Do you feel how much more powerful that was?
Yeah, it was like...
Right, sending you through the roof, right? 1, 2, and snap. Good, do it again. 1, 2, more snap down, and snap. Okay, sweet.
Dumping into the bottom.
Sweet, so we could probably use a little bit more hip, Okay, you're getting really good power and height out of that, but if we can use that hip more, it's going to allow you to catch higher. Yeah, go. Good. That's bad. Do a little bit more with the hips first. Here. Good. Okay, bridge pull transfer. Okay, right. You got the rhythm, right? Let's now make it smooth and make it fast. Okay, so just keep drilling it. Here we go. 3 kip swing again and catching the dip this time. 1, feet together. 2, and snap. Great, good transfer. Okay, good job. 2, and snap. Good, come down. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna use that hip a little bit more,
Yeah.
I want you to be
really low.
Yeah, catching really low,
Yeah.
right? So hip, pull, and then transfer. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, and snap down. Great. Awesome. Good catch.
I went very high.
That was great. Yeah, you caught, so you could have and that's the thing, on that uprise, we catch, and we're already traveling up, so we just keep pressing up. 1, 2, and snap down. Okay, good extension. We can get those hips higher though, We can work a lot harder on what you were doing really well on with that C shape.
Yeah.
Let's get that, pull back and then open. Okay? 2, and snap. Nice. Good job, Henny. Let's get high on this hip. 1, 2, and snap down. Hey, that's for the blooper reel. Okay, so feet together, keep the tension. You've got enough. Because you're trying to pull yourself up. It's just that I think it's just a habit thing. You've got enough power there to get over, so just trust that. Keep it tight. Let's do it again. All right, feet together. 1, 2, and snap down. Catch. Good. That's it. That was better. Good job. Here we go. Feet together. 1, 2, and snap. Okay, better. Right, we can do way more work through the hips though.
Yeah.
Yeah? You need to think about that snap down now. There, to drive the hips. So my hand giving you that cue is to drop, bang. Ooh. 2, and snap down. Great power, Chantal. It's awesome. Good job. 1, 2, higher. Catch, nice job, Siga. Good. Nice, man.
Thanks, man.
So, 1, good, let's get higher. 2, and snap down. Good, dip out. Good, fall away. Straight into it. Up. Press out. Good, relax. 1, 2, and snap down. Good extension. Press out, fall away. Pull, press, snap. Okay, pause. All right, so just that one, we piked at the hip like Jax was doing earlier when we took a look at his.
Yeah.
So stay engaged. As soon as we lose that glute tension, hips start to drop towards the floor, okay? We need everything still traveling up and then extending from that foundation. 1, 2, and extend, over. Good, dip out. Good, fall away. And snap. Dip out, okay. That was better. Good job. A little bit of a rogue orange foot again though. Good job. That's it. But hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of like clarity to work on. Some drills there that you guys can do obviously on your own, and gives you guys a bit more confidence too, getting on those high rings and catching. Cool. Nice work. Good job everybody.